Hello everybody, here we are today and we have a fun video as we're going to be talking about whether or not Connor McDavid can hit 1,000 career points by the end of the season. Now before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So Connor McDavid, you probably heard the name. He's in his 9th season in the NHL, and with being the first overall pick comes a lot of expectations and a lot of hopes for a bright future. McDavid has lived up to that and then some. He is now at the point where going into this season, he could possibly hit 1,000 points. Now, this is going to be kind of one of those things where it's going to be hard regardless of the fact that he's Connor McDavid or not. So at the end of last season, he had 850 points. So he needs, as of to date, he's played 2 games, 147 points for the rest of the 80 games remaining in order to hit that total. Is that possible even for McDavid? I think you have the category where you think maybe it is, and here's why. He's coming off of a 153-point season last year, a career year for him. And 2 out of the past 3 seasons, he's actually been on pace for 150 points. The shortened year, where it was 56 games, he ended up having over 100 points in that span, and he would have been on pace for 150-plus point season. So you already are looking at that and saying, well, we are in good territory here. 2 out of the past 3 seasons, he's basically achieved it. Then you got to look at it the other way and wonder, is this going to be possible even for him? I think the doubters could say last year was a career year for him. He had never cracked more than 45 goals in a season. Last year ended up scoring 64, and then of course he ended up racking a lot of assists as well along the way. I think a few things stick out to me as things that he's going to have to be able to do again compared to last season in order to make this happen. The first one is he's going to have to continue to score a lot of goals off the power play. He ended up scoring 21 last year. Prior to that, his career high was 11, according to Natural Stat Trick. But I do think one thing, or 2 things actually, stuck out from all of that compared to everything else. He had the most power play time in his career last season, and also his most shots on goal at the end of the season. So 2 things right there that kind of correlate: ice time and then taking shots, especially when you're a superstar player, getting goals. On top of that, he ended up getting 50 assists on the man advantage. So right there, you're looking at 71 points coming off of the power play. So if things are going to go in his favor for this, he is definitely going to have to see things go well there. And no surprise, it's been something that has gone well during his career. So what exactly is going to be the thing that needs to happen for him? I'm not going to go into the X's and O's if you want to do that, but it's simple, really. He cannot have a lot of quiet nights, and it's going to be one of those situations that if he does have a quiet night here or there, he's going to have some big nights some other nights. The great news is he's Connor McDavid, and that happens pretty regularly. How often you get the notification, maybe you're watching your team play, or you get up in the morning and you weren't able to watch the Oilers game, McDavid has 3, 4, 5 points on the night, something like that. It feels like a relatively regular occurrence. So for a guy that could realistically score 5 goals in a game, it's not the biggest deal if he has 2 games where he goes quiet. And again, it does feel relatively rare that he A, has a quiet night, but B, has multiple quiet nights in a row. So with all this being said, what exactly do I think, and am I leaning one way or the other for the potential to hit 1,000 career points? Well, the first thing right away is that we have to assume he's going to play a full season. He is at a spot right now where, again, 2 games into the year, he needs 147 points. That is a lot, and even for him, it's going to be a tall task. We are going to say, too, that he's going to need to have teammates do well, because when you rack up that many assists, you cannot have guys that you play with having a lot of slumps. But for the Oilers, the offense has been able to click for a while now. Power play was really good last year, so I think those things are in his favor. Ultimately, for me, though, I think I am going to shy away from it and say that he just misses out, whether that's 120, 130-point season, which is going to be incredible for him. I don't know if he makes it because, again, health and not having slumps for you or your teammates are all going to be big factors. And again, too, there's only been one other season last year where he ended up even hitting this mark. And for me, I think the biggest concern is he going to be able to get enough goals? Because 64 goals is going to be hard to get in one season alone. getting 60 plus goals again right after that is going to be even more difficult. The potential is absolutely there right now. I do think he's definitely going to get to within, probably 30 points of it by the end of the year, maybe even closer. And I do think that there's a world where he does break it. At the end of the day, does it really matter if he hits 1,000 points this season or next season? No, not really, because he's young, and there's still plenty of great hockey to come out of him. This is just one of those mini milestones that are set to come along his way, but it is begging to differ. Is he going to be able to make it? Because right away, he would already have a Hall of Fame career. He could retire now and have a Hall of Fame career, but that 1,000-point marker is where a lot of people look at it and say, oh, this is where you stack up with so-and-so. McDavid's going to be well above 1,000 points when it's all said and done, but something to watch out for this season. Anyway, do you think McDavid will make the 1,000-point club by the end of the year? Let me know why or why not down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe, have a great night, and you go love hockey, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.